Vini, tuangalie Man United. Mnacheza next na Tottenham on Friday, and then let's see your remaining fixtures. Man United mmebakisha nani na nani?
We have Brighton, we have Crystal Palace, we have
next kuna Sheffield. The only tricky fixtures I would say ni hizo mbili peke yake. Mko na Leicester kumalizia. In between hapo mko na Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Brighton, Southampton, teams and you can say the relegation threatened, but what do you think?
Okay, one, as far as Manchester United is concerned, okay, you know, this the slump, this corona issue has changed a lot of things. But for the kind of performance we've had over the course of the season, personally I would not be worried playing Tottenham right now, considering how we've played the entire season. We have actually shown up for most of the big games. We look, on paper, it looks as if we have a very good, very fair running. The team playing, but if you just go back to the teams, just open the teams again, the teams that you're supposed to play with. If you look at the teams we're supposed to play with,
well, United.
Man United.
This is easy.
If you look at those teams, Sheffield United was a draw, right? If you look at Brighton, okay, we beat Brighton. You look at Bournemouth, we lost. We lost to Bournemouth.
Mkiwa mlipigwa?
Yeah, walifunga moja. You look at Southampton, it was a draw. Aston Villa, I don't know the score. Was it Aston Villa? Did Aston Villa beat us? I think that which was it? Aston Villa or Burnley? So if you look at those teams on paper, Crystal Palace beat us at home. Actually, they beat us at Old Trafford. Yeah, if you look at those teams, all those teams are teams that we should have comfortably dispatched with, considering. But you see what happened. So still talking about this running, yes, it seems the trickiest matches for us maybe might be Tottenham or Leicester. But I tend to think that the 8 matches in between are trickier for us, considering. And then look at the teams we are playing. Aston Villa is facing relegation. Crystal Palace, I think, is also in danger. West Ham are in danger.
Just about safe.
Yeah. Crystal Palace have that 9 points. West Ham, I'm looking at West Ham,
Brighton, Watford, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Norwich.
Yes, we are playing Bournemouth.
Norwich is already relegated.
We are playing Aston Villa, we are playing Bournemouth, we are playing West Ham, and also Brighton. None of those teams are safe. None of those teams are safe as far as the scores is concerned. We are playing all those teams. So despite the fact that the home crowd is not going to play a major effect, I still think that the running could be tricky. On paper, I would say that these games from Tottenham to Leicester, I don't see Manchester United losing. That's how I would say as a Manchester United fan. But on the back of my mind, we have dropped points when we actually should have gotten them. So that is something to look into.
Ribia.
Now I think on Man United, they struggled in the first of the season, but you have to consider they had a midfield of Lingard and Pereira. It was an ISO, but let's see. It's a test for Solskjaer. Let's see how he can perform now that everybody's fit. He has the all-star caliber players at midfield. Let's see if the problem is the manager or if the problem is the team. So now we finally have the eye test to see. Now Solskjaer has his biggest test now. Yeah.
Do you think, despite the fact that you'll be facing these teams that are up for relegation or they are fighting against relegation, but then again, there's the whole aspect of Hakuna fans kwa grao. So, I mean, these teams that might necessarily be a very troublesome teams or squads or sides to face wakati they are getting relegated and they have fans at the ground. Do you think itakuwa different ball game ama itakuwa ni ile tu because watakuwa wanajua tunacheza home, maybe hakuna fans but we need to put in something when playing at home, ama it doesn't matter anymore?
I remember Moha in the first live we had today in the morning. Ali Angalia starts the Bundesliga, how I think it was 76% of matches the home fixture played an effect, but post-corona without the fans, the number reduced to its lower teens, I think around 15%. So home and away factor won't be as much. But remember, teams fighting for relegation, I don't think it's the match of the crowd. I think it's them fighting for being in the Premier League. just look at what Watford did to Liverpool.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, I don't think fans, yes, they play a factor, but these guys, they want to play in the Premier League next season. These players want to fight for that recognition because if you go back to the Championship, nobody's watching you. Your name's not in the media every day. Like, you lost your profile as a player. So these players are literally playing for their careers. That's why relegation teams are usually so dangerous to play. It's not only the fans, but the players themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, for most of them, it's like, you die. If you don't make it at this level, at this league, at this chance, you don't know the next time you'll ever play in the Premier League again. So that's why relegation teams are so dangerous. So Man United doesn't have an easy run of fixtures. It's a tough one. And I also consider they're playing in other competitions, right? So
yes,
it's the issue of rotation. So is our B team good enough to rotate in some of these games? That's the question you need to be asking now.
And just to add on that, I think the games are going to be played every 3 days, yeah? So fatigue's going to definitely kick in. I wouldn't say that anybody has a good running the only team that now is not concerned about the Premier League should be Man City. Everybody else must be concerned about what's going to happen.
Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah, essentially, and Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool are still in it because they want to get over the 100-point mark so that at least they can walk away with something at the end of the season. Because, if they just win the league and get like a 98 or whatever, they will never be the best team that ever played in the Champions League. And they want to be that best team that played in the Champions League. So they probably want to challenge the 105 that the Centurions got, I think, yeah? So probably that's the direction they want to go. But for me, I think United must be very careful because when you look at the runnings that they have, one slip at this particular junction, that's it, man. I mean, one injury and people are as good as done. So I wouldn't be too overconfident at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's very tight, especially at the top. Let me move this thing. If you look at the top four, third ni Leicester, wako na 53 points. 5 points above Chelsea. Okay, I think maybe I'll go a bit safe. But Chelsea, United, Wolves, Sheffield, Spurs, Arsenal. 7 points only between number 4 and number 9.
Man.
Like you're saying, one slip up and you are done, kaput.
Yeah, I mean, one...
Arsenal lapo bro. Umejaribu. But
tuko na 28 games kwanza tunacheza 29. If we beat, which is not possible because you have done before, we'll go to 43rd. All of a sudden to go 3 points above, all of a sudden to go 2 points away from number 5.
All right.
But you see, Arsenal have big games coming up, bro. You guys have a Sheffield, I think. You have a Wolves game coming. You have.
Let me show you. So Leicester wako third. I think Leicester. Let's go by third, fourth. Alafu tuangalie tuone. Leicester are third, 53 points. But ukiangalia fixtures zao, man, so wako na fixtures tricky. Let me show you. Leicester City. Let me tour this one. Talk about. Aya. Angalia fixtures za Leicester. So Leicester wanaanza away at Watford.
Hard game.
And they play Brighton.
Very hard game.
Okay.
And Chelsea you can FA. I think in FA.
Yeah.
But achana hiyo. Then they go away to Everton.
That's another bad game.
Hard game. Hard game.
Then they play Bournemouth away.
That's an Bournemouth will be tricky.
Then they play Sheffield. Alafu wacheze Spurs. Alafu wacheze United.
Hey! Hiyo ni noma.
I think ako na the hardest running of all the teams in a fight here top 4 or 5.
It explains why they are number 3 now. That's why kumba walikuwa wacheza walikuwa tu ma point getters, ma 3 points.
Yeah, hapa itakuwa tricks, man. So Vinny, what do you think about this one? What do you think about their running? Do you think they still have enough cushion as number 3 to see them throughout these 9 fixtures? Ama one slipper for them also, alafu watajipata in trouble.
They're on 53 points.
Yes.
Manchester United position 5 on 45. That's a difference of 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, between Manchester United and Leicester, there is a match, which most of the time we call it a 6-pointer normally. which means that whichever way it goes, they could either get the 3 points and go pull up 11 points ahead, or lose the 3 points, taking it to 5. They have a game against Chelsea. Again, Chelsea is only 4 points behind them, if I'm not wrong.
Chelsea is 5.
5 points behind them. Is it 5?
Yeah.
So those are 2 games that can be considered 6 pointers, whereby they can very easily lose the 6 points. Meaning that on paper, we have not even looked at Watford, which is a very tricky team. We've not looked at Everton, which is going through a rediscovery of form
of some sort. Yeah.
We have not looked at Bournemouth, which is facing relegation.
Yeah.
So this is a very tricky run-in for Leicester, and if anything, this is the likeliest team to get out of the top 4.
This is the likeliest team to get in the top 4.
Yeah, Leicester may not finish in the top 4.
It may not finish in the top 4.
Yeah, they may not, actually not even top 4. They may not finish in Champions League positions, because we are looking at how the situation is going. Number 5 might also get in Champions League.
Oh,
they may not finish in Champions League positions.
Yeah.
But then you guys know why Man City is not featuring in a lot of transfer news.
Why?
Jonathan Wakili Lopez.
Rent free.
Yeah, but I agree.
Tusaidia kuchambua hii running ya Chelsea. Chelsea wako na via wanacheza na City Thursday next week. Yeah, Leicester tumeona ni FA, then wanaenda away to West Ham. Wako na Watford, Crystal, Sheffield, Norwich, Liverpool, Wolves. What do you think?
It's the second hardest amongst the groups. I think in terms of difficulty, the next fixtures we have Leicester having the hardest run, Chelsea, then Arsenal. You guys have the really tough fixtures coming up. So, but Chelsea is a bit balanced, and Chelsea's biggest bane this season has been not performing against big teams, but against mid-table teams and lower teams, they've been performing quite well. Lampard seems to have their number, but against the top 4 to 5 to 6, that's where Lampard has been struggling. So I think Chelsea will be okay if they win just a handful of those games and draw the others. They'll be good. They'll be in a position where they can threaten to be in the top 5 or cement their position in the top 5 or even top 3. Arsenal and Leicester, on the other hand, have a lot of trouble, especially for Arsenal. If they hope to discover the form that they had just before Corona hit, when they had, I think, was it 3 or 4 clean sheets in a row? So maybe if you discover that defensive form, Arsenal can be in a good position to challenge for top 5. But as it starts looking at the fixtures on paper, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Leicester in the best. They're in a pickle, as the Englishman would say. They're in a pickle.
All right. Wolves, Lawton. Let's look at Wolves. Wolves, among the, of course, teams zinasumbua sana.
Wolves wako na run rahisi sana.
Status quo. So, their next fixtures, they're playing West Ham, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Sheffield, Everton. Not very big names. What do you think about their running? Do you think they have the capability of even sneaking into the top 4?
Nah, far from it, man. Wolves are a good side, yeah? But I think we give them too much credit at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, they've choppered Man City, they've sumbored Arsenal. I mean, they're a good side. Like I said, they're proper Everton. You know, remember where Everton wanted to be at one point? Yeah. That place, yes. But games against the Bournemouth, Villa, Sheffield, Burnley are definitely going to prove like very hard for them. Crystal Palace is never an easy side to play. So, and they have a Chelsea somewhere in that run. So they are going to collect a lot of draws. I'm not saying they'll lose games, but I think they're going to collect a lot of draws. Plus, the dynamics of the league have changed. Everybody's coming back with 100 and everybody's fit. Everybody's ready to play. So I don't know, man. I mean, they'll definitely be in the Europa League, but I doubt they're going to challenge for the Champions League.
You can't say with certainty kama watakuwa top 4 or 5.
No. I mean, them and Sheffield obviously are going to be. They've had a really good season, and other than Liverpool, I think those are the only other two teams that have done phenomenally well this year. So I think where they are, they're happy. I mean, Sheffield in the Europa League next year is going to be phenomenal. Think about Sheffield going into the Champions League. They don't have the manpower, to survive the Champions League. Look at how bad Wolves are.
Underestimate Lundstrom. The great Lord Lundstrom.
Nah, Lord Lundstrom is as good as FPL, man. Other than that, man, he's an overrated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I rate Reece Nelson better though. But yeah.
I disagree with you on Wolves. I actually think Wolves this season have underperformed. They've had a lot of bottle performances where they let go of leads in the last minute or where they miss.
And wakiwa number 6, wakiwa number 7.
They have underperformed. They should be in the top 4 right now. They've you know, the way you can lose points where everything is there for you to win, but you just mess up. So I feel like they've been in those positions a lot this season. And I feel with the squad they have, the talent levels they have a really good squad. They should really be competing in the top 4. The likes of Lampard are overachieving, and the likes of Manu, Arsenal, and Wolves are underachieving. So at least Sheffield is also overachieving. I don't know how their run of play will come though. With now games being played every three days, that's where now squad depth comes in. Yeah. So Wolves they have an issue of squad depth. Kidogo, Pia Sheffield have an issue of squad depth. Kidogo. So now that is when we see how good their squads will perform with the pressure of many fixtures. And then secondly, there's something I call like Kusomo. In the first season of Sheffield, unaweza kuja na ubaya, like especially new managers, especially I remember the Chelsea effect. They bring in a new manager, they comes in with this new style, wins the league, like what Conte did. But in the second season, umesomo, like people know your techniques, or even they've copied your 3-5-2s. Najipata huko number 6, number 7. I think that will happen to Sheffield. We've seen how they're playing with their going forward. They have a back 3, going back down. They have a back 7 or back 5 sometimes. So umesomo say like that break gives managers time to study teams and how they play and how they change. So in terms of Sheffield, I think they might struggle a bit because now we have their number. It doesn't feel like a resuming a season. It seems like we are starting a new season. So I feel like some of these teams that are promoted will have that, that second season of promotion blues.
Yeah.
I think we might see that from the likes of Sheffield and the likes of the teams that are promoted because there's only so much time where you can keep up a rouse that's giving you victory. So if they don't adapt now and adopt new techniques, I think Sheffield might be in trouble.
Next season. All right. I think
this season.
Oh, this season.
The remaining round of fixtures. These 2 months is like a new season, bro.
Second half,
a new season, bro. The guys have had chance to review their techniques. Guys have had chance to study the opponent. So we know the techniques coming in. Where it was an enigma before, where you don't have enough time because you have another game coming next week. So start now. During that break, you can study every single team. So I think coming back in Otakwa na Yoshida, I think wamesomo side.
I think Wolves for me wamekuwa quite. I wouldn't say underachieved because nangalia like a few games where they have come back when they had no chance at all. Like when they were playing City at Etihad. I mean, tulikuwa ajua wanaenda kupigwa because ni City, right? They went and pulled off a win. Then they hosted City at Molineux. City were leading 2-0, I think, by like is it 50 something in the second half. Wakakujiwa wakapiga 3-2. There's another game Wolves, I think, walikuwa wacheza away at Spurs. They were trailing that game. Ilikuwa swing song, walikuwa enda up and down, but they won that game, I think, 3-2 again. So wamekuwa kiputin performances, some places you'd never really expect them to pull off some points, but hata ile time tulikuwa wacheza na wao, hata kasi tulikuwa shitty, wali pull off a draw. So interesting, but hiyo tutaona as time goes on. Vinny, Sheffield, speaking of Sheffield, one of the few surprises and some of the teams that have had a very fantastic season is Sheffield. Wamepromotiwa juzi, and looking at their fixtures and they are still somewhere in European contention. Do you think they'll still be able to hold on to that? Ama watashuka? Because they still have guys like Chelsea to play against. They'll go away to Leicester. They'll still play Man United. They'll still play Arsenal. They'll still play Spurs. So tricky fixtures. What do you think about them?
Sheffield has been a revelation. The manager has been, he's actually done it against big teams. Now, the fact that they are there, I would say, is they have overachieved. Sheffield have overachieved on top of other teams underachieving. So if we look at the run of fixtures, they caught the Premier League by surprise. their structure. If you look at the way they play, if you look at how Sheffield plays, I think they play with about 5 defenders. If you've watched their game, they play with 5 defenders or something like that. 5 defenders. And all the, and the best thing about the Sheffield, this Sheffield kind of play is that they play as a unit. You see them pushing up. You find defenders like Basham and Baldock pushing in. You find them getting goals because they are pushing up. But when they're defending, everyone is sat back. You find the farthest player probably is, if they're playing with Mused because of his pace, is the one player you find maybe. So they play as a team and they play as a unit, which requires a lot of gas, a lot of fitness. So they have had that. Now, with this period, like Ribe is saying, with this break we've gone through, we might experience what we call the second season syndrome. And it might come back to bite them. Because one, the fitness levels they have had over the course of the season, we don't expect them to be there currently. They won't have those kind of fitness levels. So this kind of play might not work for them in this period. 2, there's also that aspect of, so Sheffield is going to come at us like this. We are preparing for them in this way. If you take a case in point, the game we played against them, they scored two goals and then we scored 3 and then heartbreak at the end where they scored the equalizer. You notice we came in playing a certain way, realized how they were playing, and in the middle of the second half, around the 60th minute, we see just a change of about 1 player or 2 players, and change the formation and change everything about Sheffield. So if this happens to them, considering they're playing against Chelsea, they'll be playing against Man United, it might come to hit them. But I don't think they will drop so far as to miss out on Euro positions. Yeah. Because Euro positions are 7 and 8, I think.
I think it's in Asia 7.
7, 8. 7, Unless 7. But if Man City gets out, means number 8 also gets in, I think.
Most likely,
yeah. So I don't think they'll drop out of Europe, but I don't see them finishing where they are right now. Because there is Arsenal. Many people are writing off Arsenal, and I'm not writing off Arsenal. I don't like Arsenal, but I'm not writing them off. Arsenal are fighting for that position. Everton are fighting for that position. So they might come into those positions, but I don't think Sheffield are going to drop out of the top 10. They're not going to drop out to number 9. So they may not remain at number 6 as they are right now, but they may drop further down depending on the fixtures they have and what other teams might come prepared for them.
All right. Now Nalota ameishia because I'm sure he has to go to the show. Akaona show yao ya HBR inaanzanga at 3. So most likely that way he's left. Ribia.
Oh yeah.
Spurs. Former coach of United ako Spurs. Mnaanziana na wao kwanza. Then they have these other fixtures. West Ham, Sheffield, Bournemouth, Everton. Si ngumu sana zao. What do you think about them? Do you think I think they have one of the easiest running. Do you think they have an easier possibility of getting to the top 4/5 than other teams?
First off, Mourinho amekuwa akiongea mbaya about Solskjaer. Reports are that he's saying that Solskjaer is out of his depth at United. So
that's what he said.
There are reports coming in that Mourinho said that. So coming in, this is going to be a spicy game. Solskjaer has to prove himself and Mourinho at the row. So and Mourinho wants to get revenge, of course, for being fired at United. So coming, that's going to be a really nice game. I really want to watch that game. I just want to see how that game plays out.
Secondly, before we go on, tutakuwa na watch party hiyo, utatujoin?
Nataka tupamoto watch party pamoja. Tajua vile tutaanda hiyo kitu.
Okay.
Alafu ya pili ni, yes, we have what somebody would call an easy run of fixtures. But again, like we said earlier by Vinny, we've been underperforming against smaller teams. So, and then secondly, yes, our players are back, but it's not necessarily a good thing because now we have to tinker with formation to see what works best. So I hope in that tinkering to we don't get caught lacking. Yeah? And lastly, man, it's an exciting time for Man United. With Bruno coming back and Pogba coming back. This might be the only chance we see them playing together because of transfer. So this might actually be really amazing to see them play. So I'm hoping they figure that out. And yeah, it's going to be a really exciting period. But I'm hopeful Man United will not lose till the end of the season. Hopefully, with the record this stuff, I'll have to Kishindo we play it back. But hopefully, I don't see us losing at any point. I think with this squad we will be good. Plus, in terms if you can rotation, will also be good because in central midfield we have the likes of Matic, McTominay, Fred, even Pereira and Lingard. We mentioned them just today. But rotation-wise, 3 days difference, we have an advantage of these other teams who are playing after 3 games without a backup squad. So that's why the big teams will have an advantage, especially City, United, and Arsenal too. You guys have a squad. So the backup teams, now is when they come into play.
Okay. Let's look at the last team now. Out of the Zinapigania top 4. Arsenal. Give me your honest thoughts about this one, Vinny. What do you think about our running and our chances of getting to top 4?
Arsenal have all to play for. They have all to play for. They actually on Wednesday, Arsenal need the win more than Man City, and I think we're going to see that. We're going to see a hungry Arsenal.
Mm-hmm. We should.
Then there's this aspect. I don't know. I don't think it's reflected by the players and the management, but there's the issue that fans are saying that, hey, if we are not going to make it into the Champions League, we'd rather not even make it to the Europa anyway. But I don't think that reflects on the players and the management. So
I think management has
this running for Arsenal. If we look at it, I can see there is Man City, which is a tough fixture. It's tough.
Yes.
But most of the time we play a lot of football on paper. We don't play it in the field. Like Watford and Liverpool, on paper, Watford had lost 4-0 before they even got on the pitch.
Mm.
So this game might surprise people. Yes, I know Arsenal have not won against Man City in the longest time, but I don't know. I have a certain feeling. I don't know. I always get this feeling about Arsenal when they're about to disappoint me in a good way for them. I want them to lose definitely because I don't like Arsenal, but I have a feeling they might get something from this game. But it depends with it depends with 2 things: how Man City gets into the pitch and how Arsenal come in. Now, if you look at the other games, Arsenal have not had any problems with what you may call the smaller teams.
Yep.
They have not had any problems with the smaller teams. So I don't see any problem with Brighton. I don't see any problem with Southampton. I don't see any problem with even Sheffield.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to struggle against Sheffield. However,
even Leicester, Arsenal will beat Leicester a lot. I don't know. It's like,
but if we look at the team they will struggle against, for me, I think they're going to struggle against Wolves. Can you go back to the team again? You're going to struggle against Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have a derby with Tottenham.
There's one, yeah.
And then there's a Liverpool match.
Liverpool by then will have already won the league. But
Liverpool, like I said, there's one thing I said. Liverpool might have won the league, but they also want to win the league and break a record of points. So I'm thinking they're trying to make this a very memorable season for them. For themselves.
I don't think so. From Klopp's history, all he cares about is winning.
But
all he cares about, it doesn't make sense to me as a manager, honestly, to try and break that Centurion record right now, especially under these circumstances. You're just putting yourself at risk of injury. And considering next season, you don't have a big break. Once season is ending, you'll be back for another season in 2 weeks. So I think right now, once you win the league, rest the players because they need it. Because next season is around the corner. It's like inaisha ingine kai ingine imeanza. So it doesn't make sense to go for knee. I think he'll. It's the same thing Pep Guardiola did. Remember when Pep Guardiola with Bayern Munich, after he won the league, he had won, I think, 19 straight games. He had then lost. If he continued, he would have probably gone undefeated and have won the most points in Bundesliga history. But he didn't. He was like, you know what, these young players deserve a chance to play. And I think Klopp will play the youngsters.
So the thing my thoughts.
The guy joining us is Nemuel, is a Chelsea fan. He was supposed to join us for the meeting. Wait, ulikuwa wapi?
Nimelala 9.
Kwani nduvi ilianguka ama nini?
Jongina mazidi ni skuru jana usiku mse.
Mm.
Bana.
I'm happy to see prostitutes are back to work, bro. I'm happy. Manze Majiga lock back at work. Congrats, bro. At least Corona imeshaisha, bro.
Look at, there's the time we will play Wolves, then go face Leicester, then go play Spurs, then go play Liverpool.
That's the trickiest fixture. Those are the trickiest fixtures for me. Wolves, actually, Leicester, I'm not even worried about Leicester. Wolves, Liverpool, and Spurs. And Spurs is only because it's a derby. So for Arsenal,
it's a derby, and Mourinho is an Arsenal. Like he gets in their way all the time.
But wait, you're saying you're not afraid of Leicester?
No,
Leicester
versus Arsenal, I don't see.
By the time Leicester is playing Arsenal, it have played like 3 or 4 guys on the top. It's Leicester itengeo game kwa wounded.
And then Leicester have to make against Arsenal. They've always had, they've never made it against.
I used to pick at Emirates.
Then kumbuka pia kuna Sheffield inakuwa imekalia Arsenal. We both know that. We all know that.
Can you?
Hey, Sheffield beat you guys last time. It was a good whooping, eh?
Yeah.
No, Sheffield walitupiga kwao.
Yeah, win, but I'm saying Sheffield right now. I told you Sheffield are going to suffer second season syndrome. So against Arsenal, I don't see Sheffield holding their own. I don't see them. Against the big team, Sheffield are going to back up.
If you look at the styles of play, Sheffield will just.
By the way, FA. Sheffield hapa ni FA.
On FA?
League, ni FA.
So Premier League.
Premier League umetoka ngapi Wanyorosha?
Premier League tulidraw home wakatupiga kwa 1-0.
Wanyorosha tu.
Sasa tuone Chelsea where now that you've joined us. Can you tell us your honest opinion about your running? Hii game yenye umebakisha juu. Mko na pia na two tricky fixtures na mko totally safe pale top 4. What do you think?
At top 4 I'm pretty sure we are safe. Top 4 you now na just safe. I don't know. I don't see Manchester United coming on top of us. I don't see that.
Nani hizo fixtures Buda?
I know. Kwanza nimeona hata tuko na City, tuko na Leicester, FA, tuko na
Sheffield away, kuna Liverpool, kuna Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves tunawanyoroshaga. I'm not worried about Wolves. I really am not worried about Wolves.